Alright guys, so welcome to today's video, and in today's video we will continue our work on this YBA Adventure skill frame. Let's just quickly revise what we have done in the last episode, guys. So, when I hit the skill tree button, I'm able to click on any skill right here, and my camera actually moves above the skill point. Now, today's episode is going to be about displaying some GUIs, which actually give some information about the skill we have just clicked on. So there are multiple ways to present this GUI. So let me just go through some of them. So we can really create a 100% copy of YBA Adventure by just having a GUI which is actually next to the skill, and which just gives out information. But if we seek some original content at that point, we can have this GUI right here in one of those corners, and we can always make it stay there instead of hovering over the skill point, So that would be one possible option as well. And there are probably some other options at that point, but I think that those are like the two main options. So either having a direct copy of Your Bizarre Adventure, or having some kind of original content inside of it, where the where the skill GUI is not really next to the skill point, but it rather is somewhere in the corners of your screen. Okay, so that's the reason why we'll start with the second option, because well, I just wanna do it that way, So, skills information. So let's create this frame called skills information. Let's give it a size. So 0.2, 0, 0.2, 0. Let's actually make it 0.3 at that point, and 0.7, and transparency at 1. Now, what we have to do is that we are going to design this for a little. So we are going to wait. Let me actually make this not transparent, and let me add this UI corner. UI corner, and let me add this UI gradient. So let's actually come up with a pretty cool design at that point. So okay, so white, 0, text scaled, source sans bold, skill name. So this text right here is only a representative of what is going to be at the end. So do not worry. So this right here is going to represent the skill's name, and we're going to have a description afterwards. So at the middle right here. So let's call this one desk. So stands for description. Okay, so let's keep it at 0.5, because we're going to have the small part right here as well, and this one is going to be for the buttons. So you know that in your Bizarre Adventure, you're like able to assign a certain skill to a certain key if you want to, and we're going to have some skills which will do that, and we're going to have some which will not do that. So if you, I'm gonna give examples out of your Bizarre Adventure. So there are actually skills which just buff your stand at the end, and they do not really are skills or attacks which you can do. So that's going to be the whole point in this as well. So skills, no, title, desk, and the next thing is, as I've said, going to be about the keys, but we'll do that in a future episode, because I don't think that the time has come. So we'll do that later, guys. Wait, so 2. Okay, so let's make this 0.3. 1.7. There we go. So this is going to be about the keys, but we'll leave this out for now. So okay, so so what we have to do is the following thing. So we have to go inside of this replicated storage, and we have to set up a module script. And this is the point where things now become complicated, because okay, this whole thing was just about building it and then adding some camera movement to it and checking when it has been clicked, etc, etc. But we'll now actually link these skills to the representative parts, and then we are going to link that to the GUI. So we're now creating all of those links. And another huge problem which we still have is that we have no stand. So there is no stand system implemented yet. And if there is no stand system, then, well, then the skills frame actually, or the skill tree, does not really know what skills it is representing. And that's a huge problem. But we'll try to bypass that problem, or at least come up with a solution for that. But I'll probably, at the end by the series, will show you how you can integrate the skill tree inside of a stand system. Okay, so we have this module script right here, and let's call this one skill tree. So what this one now is going to do, wait, we already have an instance called skill tree, so let's call the skill tree module. So as you guys can see, we have skill 1, skill 2, skill 3. And what we'll do now is that we are going to have these same things right here as well. Let me just quickly set up this module script. So the first one, it was skill 1, right? So we have this index called skill 1, which refers to a table. Now we are going to have all of the other skills as well, but let me just talk about skill 1. So we have the skill 1 right here, and this skill 1, so it is called skill 1, but it has, well, it needs another name, you know? So it cannot just stay skill 1. So we can potentially call this one stand barrage, stand punch, time stop, whatsoever, okay? So just come up with any move you guys want to. So that's going to be the first thing. So this skill 1 actually represents another move, and the name of this move, so name, well, depends on what kind of stand we are creating. Let's say that we are working on the world, okay? Then let's call this one time stop, okay? So time stop. Now, second thing is the description, so skill desk. Description. So now come up with a potential description for your time stop or for your move. Well, well, I've just come up with this shitty description. Well, it does not really matter about the quality of the description. I've just written this down just to demonstrate to you how this is going to work. So we have a name and a description, and you could even come up with a requirement. And you actually should do that because a skill tree has or needs requirements. Otherwise, you can't just unlock everything you want. And let's do that as well. So requirements. And now that's the part where it gets interesting as well. And I'm honest with you, I have not even considered adding requirements till now. And this opens up another field of problems because I have just told you that we have no stand system. Well, we actually have no stat system as well. And we will need the stat system at that point. So we are able to bypass the stand system, but we will need the stat system at that point because we have to come up with some requirements, and I have not considered that yet. So I haven't even consider that inside of this frame. We can probably add the requirements after the skill's name, so that should work. So requirements, well, we could work with skill points at that point. So required skill points. Let's say that the time stop needs 10 skill points. Okay, so then this is it. Okay, so that's our first skill. Now, we can move on with creating entries for all of the other skills as well. So skill 2, skill 3. Okay, time stop. Well, we should actually swap this. So this should be like our third skill, while our first and our second skill, so they should be a little bit different. So time stop is like really the best skill the world probably has, and therefore having time stop as the first skill would be a little bit too silly. So let's do stand barrage and knife throw. So let's come up with some short descriptions. Yeah, just some shitty descriptions.